In the year 2149, Earth was no longer alone. It began with a soft signal, just a whisper in space. The Deep Space Communication Center in New Zealand caught it first. It was not a cry for help, it was not a threat, it was an invitation. The signal came from a distant planet called Aurelia 7, located far beyond the known colonies. The message was short and clear. Come, we are waiting. No one knew who sent it. No one knew what we meant. A spaceship named Vigilant was chosen to go. It was a fast, high-tech ship built for deep space travel. On board were 10 people, soldiers and engineers. Leading them was Captain Raylan Carter, a calm and intelligent man. He had seen many strange things in space, but nothing like this. Raylan stood on the deck as the Vigilant entered orbit around Aurelia 7. The planet was beautiful. Blue forests covered its land. Purple clouds moved slowly across a pink sky. It looked like a dream. Scan the surface, Raylan said. No signs of cities, but energy readings are strong near the northern hemisphere, replied Dr. Mara Lynn, the science officer. Raylan nodded. Prepare the landing shuttle. Soon, the team landed in a wide valley filled with glowing plants and crystal rocks. Everything looked peaceful, but something felt wrong as they walked. They found ruined stone towers covered in alien symbols. Strange humming sounds came from deep underground. Do you hear that? Asked Sergeant Kale, a tough soldier. It's like singing, whispered Mara. Then they found her. She was standing alone in the middle of the ruins, tall, thin, and glowing slightly under the sunlight. Her skin was soft blue. Her long hair moved like water. Her eyes were bright silver, like stars. Raylan raised his hand slowly. We come in peace. The alien girl tilted her head and smiled. She spoke perfect English. Human, she said softly. Your skin looks so soft. Let me feel it. Taste it, and claim it for myself. The team froze. No one moved. Raylan took a step forward. Who are you? She smiled wider. I'm the beginning of your end, or your evolution. I haven't decided yet. She touched Raylan's hand. Everything went black. Raylan opened his eyes. He wasn't in the ruins anymore. He was lying on a soft surface, inside a glowing cave. The walls shimmered with blue light. The air felt warm and sweet, like a perfume. The alien girl sat near him, watching him. I didn't hurt you, she said, but I needed to feel your soul. It's soft too. Raylan sat up slowly. Where are we? Somewhere safe. For now, she said. Why did you bring me here? I've studied humans from far away. I never touched one. You feel different. You feel everything. Pain, love, fear, hope. We don't. We forgot how Raylan's heart raced. What do you want from me? I don't know yet, she whispered. Maybe just a taste. Maybe everything. Back on the surface, the rest of the team was searching for Raylan. He disappeared right after she touched him, Mara said, scanning the ruins with her device. Kale held his weapon tight. I don't trust her. She didn't blink. That's not natural. Suddenly, the ground shook. A deep rumble came from beneath their feet. Something's waking up, Mara said. Inside the glowing cave. Raylan looked into the girl's silver eyes. You said you studied us. For how long? He asked. Hundreds of your years, she said. We watched from far. We felt your music, your stories. We didn't understand, so we sent the signal. You wanted us to come here. She nodded. Why? To choose. Choose what? She smiled again. It was a beautiful, terrible smile. To be claimed, or to fight. Suddenly, the cave trembled. A shadow moved behind the girl. Another voice echoed through the walls, a cold, deep voice. Shira, what have you done? Raylan turned. A darker figure stepped into the light, taller, stronger, and not smiling. You brought a human here, the voice said. You broke the silence. Raylan stood up fast. Who are you? The new alien stepped forward. His skin was darker, his eyes red. We are the others, he said. And we are hungry. Raylan was dreaming, or maybe drowning, He floated in a dark sea. He could not move, he could not breathe, but he felt everything, Memories rushed through him, not his own. A girl with blue skin crying alone in a crystal room. A bright planet burning under alien machines. A child's voice whispering, don't feel too much, or they will find you. Raylan opened his eyes with a sharp breath. He was lying on a bed of soft glowing grass. The cave around him pulsed with quiet light, like it was alive. Warm, gentle air brushed his face. The alien girl sat beside him. Her name echoed in his mind. Now Shira, you're awake, she said softly. That's good. Raylan sat up slowly. What? Was that? A link, she said. Our minds touched when I held your hand. You saw my past. He looked at her. Her eyes were kind but full of secrets. Why did you show me that? I didn't mean to. It happens when we bond too deeply, and I've never touched a human. Before she stood and walked to the edge of the cave, looking out through a shimmering energy field. Beyond it was a jungle glowing in deep blue light. Strange bird-like creatures flew between giant plants. I've been alone a long time, she said. Too long. Raylan stood beside her. You said you studied humans, but you don't act like a scientist. She gave a soft laugh. That's because I'm not. I was a seeker once sent to observe your kind. But I broke the rules. What rules? I started to feel, she said. We are not supposed to. My kind believe emotions are weakness. But when I watched your people, your music, your stories, your love, I couldn't look away. Raylan nodded slowly. So you brought me here? No, she said. I sent the signal, but I didn't expect you. Raylan looked around. Where's the rest of my team? Still searching, she replied, but they must leave soon. This place isn't safe. Why? Shira turned to him. Her silver eyes now darkened. Because I'm not the only one here. Far above, on the surface of Area 7, Sergeant Kale was not sleeping. He and Dr. Mara sat near a scanner, checking the strange energy waves under the ruins. He's been gone too long, Kale said. Something's wrong. I know, Mara whispered, and these readings are getting stronger. Something big is moving underground. Suddenly, the scanner went black. A soft whisper echoed through the air. Neither of them spoke the alien language, but somehow, they understood the words. You should not be here. Back in the cave, Raylan's heart beat faster. He heard it too, a voice, far away but growing louder. A presence heavy, cold. They've found us, Shira whispered. Who? Raylan asked. She looked at him, fear now on her face. The others, they don't ask. They don't feel, they only take. She reached for his hand. We have to run. Run where? There's an old tunnel. From long ago, it leads to the surface. If we reach your team, we might escape. Raylan hesitated. And if we don't? She stared into his eyes. Then you die and I lose everything. They ran through the glowing cave, deeper into the mountain. Strange lights flickered on the walls, symbols, maybe memories, alive in the stone. Behind them, a howl echoed through the dark. Something ancient was waking. Raylan held his blaster tight, but he knew it wouldn't help. They stopped at a massive door covered in blue vines. Shira touched it, and the vines pulled away like curtains. The door opened slowly. Beyond it was a black tunnel. Go, she said. You first. She smiled faintly and stepped into the dark. Raylan followed her. Just as something growled behind them, a red-eyed creature, taller than a man, stepped into the cave they had just left. It sniffed the air. Human, it hissed. We taste your fear. Inside the tunnel, Shira stumbled. Raylan caught her arm. You're hurt. She shook her head. No, just using too much energy. I've not run like this in a long time. Raylan helped her walk. You risked everything to help me. Why? Shira stopped and looked at him, her face soft but serious. Because I believe humans are more than food, more than energy, and if I don't protect that idea, no one else will. Raylan nodded. Then I'll protect you, too. Behind them, the roar came again, closer. Now Raylan raised his weapon. They're coming. The tunnel was alive, not with creatures or sound, but with memory. That's Raylan and Shira walked deeper into the dark. The walls began to glow with light, soft and slow, like breathing. Strange symbols moved across the stone, shifting and floating, like ink in water. Raylan touched one with his fingers. It vanished. What is this place? He asked. Shira's voice was low. A temple, long forgotten, built by my kind before we stopped believing in anything but power. Raylan looked around. Believing in what? She smiled sadly. Connection, love, choice. He stared at her for a long moment. So you're really the only one left who believes? No, she whispered. But I might be the last one still alive. Above ground, the rest of the vigilant crew had taken shelter inside the landing pod. Sergeant Kale stood by the entrance holding his rifle. He didn't blink much anymore. Ever since Raylan disappeared, he hadn't slept. Dr. Mara was watching. The scanner. We've got movement again. Big, maybe underground. Kale checked his gear. We need to go after him. But just then, the pod lights went out, and something knocked. Not pounded, not smashed. Knocked. 3 soft, polite knocks on the outside door. Mara froze. That's not right. Kale didn't speak. He raised his rifle and moved slowly toward the hatch. Then a voice came through the metal, soft, clear, and perfectly calm. You brought one of us home, and now you must choose. Back underground, Shira stopped walking. She placed her hand on the wall. The stone melted into a door. Beyond it was a wide room. A high ceiling stretched above them, covered in stars, moving stars. They're not real, Shira said. They're memories of every sky my kind has conquered. Raylan stepped into the room and stared upward. Why show me this? Because you need to understand what we truly are, she said, and what I ran from. Suddenly a cold breeze filled the room. Raylan turned. Another figure had appeared behind them, tall, silent, and wrapped in black mist. No footsteps, no sound, just presence. Shira whispered. They found us. The figure stepped closer. Its face was smooth, no mouth, no nose, only glowing red eyes. Raylan raised his weapon. The figure spoke without moving its lips. You don't belong here. Human, she is broken. Her feelings are poison. Raylan stepped in front of Shira. She's trying to help us. The figure's eyes narrowed. We don't want help. We want balance. You are chaos. She is infected. Shira stepped forward, trembling. You don't. You have to do this. Let him go. The figure tilted its head. We cannot. He is already part of you. Then it vanished like smoke in the wind. Raylan looked at Shira. What did it mean? I'm part of you. Shira looked away. When I touched you, I didn't just see your memories. I shared mine. You carry them now. You gave me part of yourself. I had to, she said, or you would have died. Raylan stared at her. Then what happens to me now? Before she could answer, loud humming filled the room. Lights began blinking across the walls. They're waking up the Guardians, Shira said. The ones who don't speak, the ones who don't ask, the ones who consume. She grabbed his hand. We need to run now. They raced through narrow tunnels, the lights flickering around them. Behind them came deep, heavy sounds like footsteps, but slower, heavier, like something dragging stone with every step. Raylan's breath came faster. Shira, where does this tunnel lead? To the nest, she said. That doesn't sound like safety. It's not, she replied, but it's the only place where they won't follow. Why not? She stopped suddenly and turned to him. Because they're afraid of what's inside. Meanwhile, aboard the Vigilant in orbit, a strange signal appeared on the command screen. The pilot, Lieutenant Harris, tried to trace it, but it wasn't coming from the planet. It was coming from the moon behind it. Then the signal became a voice. Earth is soft, sweet, unprotected. We're coming. Harris reached for the emergency comms. Captain Carter, if you're hearing this, you need to hurry. Earth isn't the target anymore. It's the desert. Back in the tunnels, Shira and Raylan stood before a wide doorway. It was covered in vines and strange symbols. Shira placed her hand on the wall. The vines fell away. Beyond the door was something glowing, bright, alive. A room that seemed to hum with power and sorrow. Raylan whispered, "Is this the nest?" Shira nodded. "Yes, and inside it, is the truth." The nest was not made of stone. It was made of memories. As Raylan stepped inside, the walls came alive, showing floating images, like ghosts trapped in light. He saw humans, thousands of them. Some were smiling, some were screaming. All of them were fading away. "These are echoes," Shira said behind him. "Souls touched by my kind, pieces taken, pieces lost." Raylan walked forward, heart pounding. Then the center of the chamber was a large, glass-like orb. It pulsed with soft light blue, then red, then black. Shira stared at it. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "This is the heart of the old ones. The first link between my race and yours." Raylan turned sharply. "You've been here before." "No," she said. "But it knows me." Suddenly, the orb began to glow. Brighter, a voice calm, cold, emotionless, filled the room. "Human identified, soul detected, cross-link complete." Raylan's head snapped back. A beam of light hit his chest, and his body froze in place. His memories flashed: his mother, his team, his ship, everything rushing by like a storm. Shira ran to him. "Stop, he's not ready." The light answered her without feeling. "He is not being tested, he is being tasted." Raylan collapsed. He was not in the chamber anymore. He was standing in a white world, silent and endless. In front of him stood himself, but different. His skin glowed faintly blue. His eyes were silver. "Who are you?" he asked. The copy smiled. "You after her? What do you mean? You touched her. She touched you. You feel what we feel now. Taste what we taste. Your body is still yours, but your soul." The copy leaned forward. "That belongs to the hive now," Raylan screamed. Back in the real world, Shira caught his body before it hit the floor. His skin was glowing faintly. Not human, not alien. Something in between. Shira whispered, "I gave him too much." A soft voice echoed in her mind. "No, little traitor. You gave him just enough." Up in space, the Vigilant was in full lockdown. Lieutenant Harris stood at the window, watching as the second moon of Aurelia 7 cracked open. It wasn't a moon, it was a ship, a living one, a creature the size of a city, covered in black armor, shaped like a starfish with endless eyes. It opened its wings and moved silently toward Earth's direction. "This isn't an invasion," Harris whispered. "It's a harvest." Raylan opened his eyes again, this time slowly. He felt everything. The weight of Shira's hand on his shoulder, the sadness in her chest, the fear beneath her calm voice. "What did you do to me?" he asked. "I didn't mean to," she said. "But now you're linked. You see what we see, feel what we feel." Raylan stood up. He was still human, mostly, but something had changed. He could hear thoughts in the walls. He could feel the pulse of life below the surface. He could sense the others. Watching, Shira looked at the heart again. "There's only one way to stop them now. Tell me." "You must go to the core chamber, touch the pulse, reset the signal. It will block them from finding Earth." Raylan frowned. "Why don't you do it?" Shira looked away. "Because I'm one of them. The system will see me as kin, but you're a threat, and threats are not ignored. They're attacked." Suddenly, a part of the wall collapsed behind them. A black shadow stepped into it. With a face like cracked glass and burning eyes. That it was a guardian. It pointed at Raylan. "The human is spoiled. His skin glows, his taste is rich." The creature hissed. "The hive wants him now." Raylan raised his weapon. "Then they'll have to come get me." Shira stood beside him. "No," she said. "We run." They dashed through a side tunnel, the guardian's growl echoing behind them. The chamber began to fall apart, the heart pulsing like a dying star. As they ran, Shira shouted, "If you reach the pulse chamber, you'll feel everything we ever felt. Pain, hunger, desire. It will try to change you." Raylan didn't slow down. "Let it try." Meanwhile on Earth, a strange light appeared in the sky just above the Pacific Ocean, and with it came a whisper. Thousands of people heard it in their minds. Your skin, your warmth, your emotion, we are coming to collect. Raylan was no longer running. He was falling through her memories, not his, hers. The moment he touched the pulse in the chamber, the world had vanished. Now he was inside Shira's mind. It looked like a broken mirror, shards of moments floating in darkness. In one shard, he saw her as a child, sitting alone in a glass room, bright wires wrapped around her arms. A tall figure watched her from behind a wall. In another, she floated above a planet, watching it die slowly. Raylan reached for one shard. As he touched it, it pulled him in. He was now standing in a cold hallway made of metal. A younger version of Shira, maybe 12 years old, walked ahead of him. She wore no shoes. Her face was calm, but her eyes were empty. Above her, alien voices spoke through speakers. Do not touch them, do not feel them, do not become them. She entered a glowing room. Inside, a human boy, maybe 8 years old, was sleeping in a glass tube. Wires ran into his arms. His skin was pale, his lips blue. Shira stared at the boy. Then she whispered one word, "Why?" The speakers answered, "Because humans are the last species that still feel everything. They are the key to our hunger." Raylan tried to speak, but he had no voice here. He was just a ghost in her memory. Suddenly, the memory cracked apart. The hallway shattered like ice. Raylan fell again through flame this time. He landed on a field of ash. Dozens of alien children stood in rows watching a burning tree. A voice behind him whispered, "She cried when they cut the tree." That was her first crime. Raylan turned on an older version of Shira stood there, not glowing, not soft, hard and cold, her eyes filled with fire. She felt too much, the voice said. And so we burned what she loved. Raylan backed away. This wasn't just memory, it was judgment. The hive was watching him through her mind. Suddenly, he was pulled upward, dragged by invisible strings. He landed in a white room where the present-day Shira sat in a chair, staring at a cracked mirror. She didn't look surprised. "You're here," she said quietly. Raylan looked around. "Where is this, my prison?" she said. "I never left it. Even when I ran." He stepped closer. "Why are you showing me all this?" "Because you need to understand what I was. To believe what I want to become." Raylan crouched beside her. "What do you want to become?" She looked at him. Her eyes were wet with emotion, glowing faintly. "I want to be human, back in reality." Raylan gasped, awake. He lay on a smooth stone floor, his head still buzzing with memories. Shira sat beside him, eyes closed, breathing slowly. He reached for her hand. She flinched but didn't pull away. "You shared your mind with me," he said. "All of it." "I had to," she whispered. "The chamber required truth. If I lied, it would have killed us both." Raylan stood up slowly. "You were made to destroy us, but you chose to love us instead." She didn't answer, but her hand tightened around his dot suddenly. The walls began to rumble. A low hum grew louder, deeper. Then a voice spoke, not from the room, but from inside their heads. "You showed him the path. That breaks the code." Raylan and Shira turned. To the shadows behind them, a tall alien figure stepped forward. Its face was covered in ancient symbols that moved like worms across its skin. "You are both corrupted," the figure hissed. "You must be erased." Shira stepped forward. "No, we remember now. We know where we came from." The figure paused. Raylan asked, "What does that mean?" Shira looked at him, then at the alien. "Tell him," she said. The alien's voice trembled not with fear, but with rage. "Your species, human, did not evolve. You were engineered by us." Silence. Even the hum of the walls stopped. Red voice cracked. "What are you talking about?" "You were made," the figure said. "A failed experiment. But your defect, your emotions became your weapon. You became too powerful, because you felt too deeply." Shira whispered, "That's why they wanted your skin. Your senses, your fear, your love. It makes you rare." Raylan stepped back. His entire life felt like a lie. "But why call us now?" he asked. "Why invite us here?" The alien smiled with glowing teeth. "To bring you back to the lab." Outside the chamber, the ground split open. Black spires rose from beneath the planet's crust. In orbit, Earth's defense satellites flickered, then died. Across the human colonies, people began to feel something they couldn't explain, like cold fingers brushing across their minds. The harvest had begun. Raylan could feel the world breathing. But it wasn't Earth, it was a Urelia-7. Every stone beneath his feet, every crystal in the walls, every whisper in the air, it all pulsed like a living thing. He could feel it inside him now. His skin was no longer just skin. It tingled, glowed, hungered. Beside him, Shira watched carefully. She looked worried but said nothing. Raylan stared at his hands. "Why does it feel like the planet is calling me?" Shira nodded slowly. "Because now, it knows you. And you know it." Raylan looked into her eyes. "I thought I was still human." She didn't blink. "You are, but not only." They stepped outside the ancient chamber. The sky above had changed. It was no longer pink and blue, it was black, as if a giant hand had covered the sun. Raylan shielded his eyes and saw them. The hive ships, thousands of them, black like oil, alive like insects, floating in the sky like falling ash, silent and endless. The war had begun, but it didn't look like a battle, it looked like feeding time. Meanwhile, back on Earth, panic had already started all across the globe. People were reporting the same dream, a soft voice whispering, "Let us in." Government networks were crashing. Space Command had gone silent. A red glow had appeared in the Pacific Ocean. A massive black shape was rising from the sea, taller than a mountain, its surface crawling with life. Earth's leaders gathered in secret bunkers, speaking quickly, arguing loudly while in the skies above them. The first hive creatures slipped through the clouds. Raylan and Shira ran through the jungle. The air smelled like fire and metal now. "Where are we going?" he asked. "To the spire," she said. "The main transmitter. It controls the hive's psychic field. If we destroy it, we blind them for a moment." Raylan clenched his fists. "Then we hit them hard. Go home and warn Earth." Shira stopped. Suddenly, her voice dropped. "You can't go back." Raylan froze. "What? You're connected now. They'll follow you. Wherever you go." He stared at her, anger rising. "You knew this. You knew I was changing." "I had no choice," she whispered. "I wanted to save you." Raylan turned away, and for a moment, his shadow on the ground moved differently than he did. They reached the spire. It stood like a black needle, piercing the sky. The air buzzed with psychic energy. It hurt to breathe. It hurt to think. Raylan stepped forward, holding the small explosive core given to him by Shira. "Place this at the base," she said. "It will send a feedback wave. Just one." 1 second of silence. Raylan muttered. "Doesn't feel like much." She touched his face gently. "It will be enough if you don't let the hive get into your mind." He placed the core, and that's when the world bent. He was suddenly inside his own mind, again, but not alone. He stood in a black ocean, with stars above and no land in sight. A voice whispered behind him, "You taste like hope that is rare." Turned, he saw a figure made of shadow and light. Its voice came from all directions. "You are not like the others. You can feel and fight, but you also want." Raylan gritted his teeth. "What do I want?" The shadow leaned close. "To matter. To be more than just a man. To be remembered." The ocean rippled with images of Raylan saving Earth, standing above all others, eyes glowing, skin shining like a god. "We can give you that," the voice said. "Let us in fully. Share your skin. We will wear it well." Raylan trembled. Then, he heard another voice, faint, fragile, Shira's. "Raylan, come back. Don't let them rewrite you," he screamed. The dream shattered. He was back. The core was blinking ready. Shira stood in front of him. "They tried to tempt you, didn't they?" He nodded. "They nearly won." She handed him the trigger, but his hand wouldn't move. Shira stepped closer. "You're fighting yourself now." He looked at her, eyes glowing faintly blue. "I'm afraid that if I destroy this, I destroy part of myself too," she whispered. "Then destroy it before that part grows." Raylan closed his eyes and pressed the button. The spire exploded in a flash of white light, all across the sky. The hive ships screamed out with sound, but with rage inside every living mind. They were blind. For now, Shira grabbed Raylan's arm. "We have to move. They'll rebuild the link fast." He stared up at the burning sky, and for the first time, he smiled, not because he won, but because he remembered who he was. There was silence, not peace, just silence. Raylan stood at the edge of a broken cliff, the remains of the spire burning behind him. Black smoke curled into the sky like ghost fingers. Above, hive ships spun in confusion, blinded by the signal. Burst. They didn't retreat, but they paused. The hive never felt fear, but now they felt uncertainty, and for Raylan that was enough. Behind him, Shira sat on the ground, her head low, breathing slow. She was fading, not dying, changing. "Shira," Raylan said softly, walking over to her. She didn't look up. "You shouldn't have come back. I never left." She smiled weakly. "That's the most human thing you've said." Raylan kneeled beside her. "The pulsar took something from you." She nodded. "It needed a link. I gave it. The last piece of me that was hive." Raylan touched her face gently. "What's left now?" She opened her eyes. They weren't silver anymore. They were brown, human. Far above, the hive ships began to regroup. Their screams returned, but they were scattered, broken. A new voice entered the signal. "Low, cold, ancient. You have broken the silence. You are no longer food. You are a threat." Raylan stood and looked up. "They're talking to me." Shira rose slowly, holding her side. "No, they're talking to all of us now." On Earth, satellites blinked back to life. Military leaders saw the threat, but they also saw the delay. Across the globe, humans began to fight back. Lasers fired into space. Missiles raced toward the approaching dark swarm, but Earth's weapons weren't enough. They needed time. They needed a miracle. Raylan and Shira made their way to a broken launch pad hidden in the jungle, a forgotten escape pod from the first alien landing thousands of years ago. "I can fly this," Shira said, sitting in the cracked control chair. Barely. Raylan sat beside her. "Where are we going?" "To the hive core," she said. Raylan's eyes narrowed. "I thought we just escaped it." She looked at him, serious now. "We can't run forever. Not from something inside us." Raylan knew what she meant. He still felt it. The hive, inside his blood, watching, whispering, calling him home. As the pod rose into the sky, Raylan saw Aurelia 7 shrink behind him. It was beautiful, and cursed, just like Shira, just like him. The hive fleet hung ahead, forming a wall of black stars at The center floated a massive structure, the core Minda, living brain the size of a city. Every ship, every soldier, every scream flowed through it. Shira stared at it. I was born in there. Raylan nodded. Then maybe we end it there. The pod docked roughly. They stepped into the hive's center. The walls were soft, pulsing. Alive. Lights glowed in the walls, each one a life they had taken. A voice filled the chamber. You bring disease, love, sacrifice, weakness. Raylan replied, we call those things strength. You call them pain. He took another step forward. Yes, but we feel it. That's what makes us more than flesh. The core began to shake. Xira fell to her knees. Raylan ran to her. What's wrong? She looked up at him. They're trying to pull me back. Raylan gritted his teeth. Then pull harder. He grabbed her hand. Together they reached the central nerve stem, beating like a heart. Raylan pressed his palm against it. Memories exploded. Every human scream. Every soul devoured. Every thought stolen. He felt Earth crying out, begging. But he felt something else. Shira holding the line, pouring her love, her loss, her humanity into the heart of the hive. Raylan whispered, let it end. And then light. The core collapsed inward, folding like paper, imploding in silence. One by one, hive ships froze, cracked, and crumbled. Across the galaxy, hive minds broke like shattered glass. On Earth, the sky cleared. No more voices, no more whispers, only wind. Back aboard the Vigilant, weeks later, Raylan stood alone at the observation window, looking down at Earth. His reflection was strange now. His eyes glowed faintly. His heartbeat wasn't always steady, but he was still him. Mostly behind him a soft voice spoke. Still soft, human. He turned. Shira stood there, fully healed, her skin a light shade of blue, but her eyes still brown. Raylan smiled. Soft enough. She stepped beside him. No one claimed us, Raylan. No, he said. We claimed ourselves. As the Vigilant drifts silently through space, a small spark of blue light flickers deep in the dark. One hive voice whispers again, faint, barely alive. Not the end. Only silence before the next taste.